maybe in the past you were someone quite, I don't want to say hot-headed, maybe hot-headed is too much said, but maybe your energy was a bit more hectic. Maybe you were a little bit more impatient. You had a little bit more urgency. It's like when you would see an opportunity, be it a person for a relationship or maybe a job opportunity, it's like I want it and I want it now, right? I'm hearing fire as well, so maybe you are fire sign. But I feel like in that last cycle of those last 9 years, you would have tamed that fire. You would have ground that fire. You would have ground your energy, because there's more calmness. There's more energy of let's take things slowly. Let's build things. And this goes exactly to what I mentioned to you guys. Whether you already realize this or not, I feel like this person connected to you changed you, whether directly in a sense that they have more grounded energy, more responsible energy, more mature energy, and they taught you that, right, through that sort of a leadership and being with someone, or the experience of them taught you these things. But you should recognize, if for the right collective this should land, you should really feel that, yeah, looking back, thanks to this person, I am someone completely different. No matter how, no matter how it turned out, I feel you moved and you haven't moved on. That's what I'm getting, right? That you've moved on from this person. Right now, watching again this past 9 year cycle, for a very long time you would think that this is it, that this is this person, that it has to work out, that this is a true soul connection, that there's nothing that you couldn't work out despite the differences. I don't feel you feel that anymore, because you've grown, you've grounded your energy, you've realized certain things, you went through certain experiences. We talked about this in part 1, that made you realize that no, not everything is what it seems. You're wiser. I can feel that in your energy. You're not so stubborn anymore. But there is something still about this person that you haven't fully let go of energetically. We have 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles. I just want one more for that. We literally, most of it is Pentacles. But you're definitely more connected in. So maybe those past 9 years, it's also a cycle that marks your awakening, your coming into awareness. 9 of Cups. Maturity. You're not the same person. You would be one of those people that when you look back at the beginning of the cycle, you would feel like you were young, you were a child, you were learning, you were, right? There were many things. You would feel more of a mature woman energy right now. A woman or a man. There's a reason I said a woman, so maybe most for this collective you will be a female, but you would feel more mature right now. You would feel more independent. You would feel like you can actually, there's also something about thinking of me in this energy, but not in an egoistic sense, but in this wise and in this self-love sort of a sense, right? So there are certain things that back in the day, I was this dreamer, I was this reckless dreamer, right? I was very impatient, and now I still want certain things, right? But now it's just more mature approach. It's this more mature approach. I want someone to build with. I want people to build with. I want, it's basically that. It's basically that, which is very nice. Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. All right. So let's do guidance right now. If that resonated, we know what was your past 9 years. So let's do guidance. What is it that your guides want you to know and realize and sort of open your eyes to, so you could properly close this cycle? Or too many. Step out of your comfort zone. North Node. North node is our dharma. North node is the star that we all have, and it shines upon our lifetimes, in every lifetime. It's where we're going, right? Through every stepping stone. It's our dharma. So maybe the next cycle that you are opening this collective, this is what I'm hearing, will confirm in tarot as well, but it will be more about you, about finding your purpose, finding your path, finding your destiny. I'm hearing playing small, so maybe they feel that you're still playing it a little small, that there are bigger things for you to accomplish. Let's see what else. What? Show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius may be a detail here. I feel there's something about, I always teach you guys this, right? Our path, our purpose, it's always us. It's always who we are. It's who we become. It's nothing in the physical world. It doesn't link to what we do, and it's not our occupation. It's not what we do for others. It's who we become. And through that meaningless becoming of who we were meant to be, that authentic self, we properly spread our vibration, adjusting the vibration of everything around us. Does it make sense? So it's a drop in the ocean, that your only job is to become who you were meant to be, because it will be your vibration that will create that ripple effect, not the actual actions in the physical world. But obviously we oftentimes achieve that vibration through actions, decisions, and through living certain experiences. So I feel you're being encouraged more to follow your dharma, to follow the voice within, where you need to go, experience things that you need to experience, to be more authentic, to step into your your authentic selves. I wanted to a couple of emotions as well. Let's do a few more of these. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini. So we have a lot of air sign as well. Maybe it's going to my mind, maybe you should unground yourself. We always have to check in with ourselves, right? And we've been talking about this in the recent days in my channel, in my readings, and on my stories as well. Balance is very important, and sometimes when we go through life experiences, I've mentioned this in the past shadow work exercise that I've posted last week, I think, for you guys. We sometimes go a little bit overboard. We cannot find the proper balance, right? So I feel like for this collective, there's something that this person was meant to cross paths with you, to help you mature, to help you ground, to help you anchor yourself in your maturity, right? But I feel right now you're a little bit too grounded. They're showing me one of the first cards that we pulled to you, if you remember, daydreamer, right? I feel this collective, you have a fire within, you're a dreamer, right? Maybe there is an air sign in your placement, but I always say this to you guys, the signs, it's more of the energy that rules you. We have to really understand these energies. I feel you're very much grounded right now, and they want you to unground yourself a little bit. You're wise enough to know that sometimes it's needed to be a dreamer. So bring back that dreamer, activate that dreamer. What is it that, because it's the passion, it's the dream, it's the voice within us that we often silence, saying that no, it's not possible, stop being that dreamer. Like, we constantly hear this, right? People constantly say this, you have to be more grounded, you have to be more like with your feet on the ground, like more reasonable. Why? It's the dream, it's the passion, it's the vision, right? It's that ignition, that spark within that actually guides us towards that northern node. So I feel that this collective, they are guiding you to unground yourself a little bit. Communication is key, so maybe you should also work on your communication skills. I don't know why I was hearing communication with the universe, with your guides, but let's do a few more. Meditate and contemplate. Pisces. New moon in Pisces. I take that as a confirmation, because when we meditate, when we contemplate, this is really how we silence the mind, and how we communicate with our higher self, how we communicate with our spirit team. So I feel you're being called to do that. And especially that, there's a different types of meditations, and as we go to meditation, right? And it also depends. That's why it's so important to understand the energies. When you go to my YouTube, there's a playlist, Path, Purpose, Mission, and at the end of that playlist, there's a sort of a videos about energies and the water, the air, right? So it's important to understand these, because we embody all of them. We're always going to have one that we resonate a little bit more with, that rules us. Sometimes it is the same one as our star sign, but sometimes nothing to do. But as we go through life and through cycles of life, we sort of move through these energies, right? And we have to learn to embody the one that is more relevant for us in a specific moment of our journey. And as we meditate, as we do variety of spiritual practices, contemplation, meditation, going into meditation, deep meditation, shamanic journey, you can set an intention depending on how you do it to ground yourself, right? And go more towards that earthly energy of grounding and anchoring yourself in your body and your physical existence, and the patience and the stillness and connection to Mama Gaia. Or you can sort of lift your body, travel to the cosmic realm, right? To go more into that air energy, to rise your vibration. I feel there's a reason it's coming to my mind, because they were showing me a tourmaline. They were saying be careful. So if you really want to do these practices on your own, if you have a spiritual teacher, someone that you work with, ask them for advice, right? So ask them how you can safely do this, so you can lift that vibration and go a little bit more towards that cosmic space. So you can do that safely. Obviously, if you're a pro and an experienced spiritual teacher, you'll know how to do that. If you work with a healer that does guided meditations or shamanic journeys, you can do that with your healer. But if it's something that you want to try on your own with a guided meditation, just make sure that you protect yourself. So it can even be through an intention. I don't want to sort of go in there. Your healer will definitely know, but in a minimum, having a little tourmaline and setting a proper intention. Because we want to travel upwards sometimes, but we don't necessarily want to stay there all the time, because it can be tricky, as we have to go back from that meditation and actually live a human life. But I feel like you're being guided to do that a little bit more. So unleash your authentic self, connect more to your higher self. I'm hearing lift your energy a little bit more, connect to the energy of our air a little bit more, unearth yourself, unground yourself. All right, I kind of want to do a few more. I'm guided to do like 3 more, so let's do 3 more. Let's see what comes through. A win-win outcome. Prosperity lies ahead. A fiery climax approaches. To be honest, I do feel for this collective that there's going to be a lot of personal growth, career growth in the next 9-year cycle, that this is what you have in the stars. This is what is on the cards for you. Full moon in Libra, Taurus, we have Aries as well. I was hearing that Aries too, maybe you are in Aries. We had that Emperor too. These signs, you guys know that they're just a detail. I would say, as a guidance that I'm hearing, above everything that I already said, continue to connect to your mature side, to your maturity, right? Maybe you have a very intense fire element within you, or that, right? You know what I mean? Everything that we've mentioned. So make sure that it's tamed. Make sure that just continue to grow in your maturity. Continue to grow in your maturity. Take choices from a place of maturity. Take choices from a place of, again, maturity is not reason. It's the heart, but it's the heart that also knows how to choose what's best for me and what's best for my path, what's best for me to reach that northern node and follow that northern node. It will make sense for the Light Collective because this is what I'm hearing. It's not making much sense in my head right now, but I'm just saying what I'm hearing. I do feel that you can have, we're going to tap into the cards in a moment, that you can have a bit of a, they're showing me fireworks. So a fireworks closure of that 9-year cycle. So be very present, be very mature, be very aware, self-aware, aware of your learnings, aware of your past, aware of what you still have to let go of. As we move into the next months, and we're going to be ending fully this year, that will end on February 17. We're going to enter the horse year, fire horse, so be careful, this collective. So you really tame your fire, but moving towards the equinox that will really mark the beginning of the new year. And my candle just went crazy for confirmation. I feel there may be some fiery tests. It did it again, the candle. So there may be a confirmation, there may be a fiery test to really, for them to really test you. Are you ready? Are you ready for the next cycle? Have you matured enough? Do you know how to work in between the elements? Work with your air, work with your earth, work with your fire more than anything. Have you learned your lesson? Have you understood the lessons with the soul connection that we were teaching you? Are you ready to unleash, I'm hearing more, the real you, the authentic you? Connect more for guidance as well. All right, let's do you few emotions cards, and then we're gonna do tarot at the end. Whoop, whoop. Courage, that's really nice. That's number 21, courage. So see, there's a reason I said to you, I feel you are someone who is courageous, who is fiery, who is, connected to the fire element. But I feel like maybe the past cycle, I'm feeling that the purpose, the karmic purpose of the last 9-year cycle for you was to ground you, was to help you mature, was to help you learn patience, was to help you make good choices for yourself, not just from the heart, but from a place of your spirit, from a place of the northern node, not from the place of that hot-headed urgency, let's do it now. So I feel you really need to learn the true meaning of courage, because courage is not recklessness. I want to read this card to you. Maybe it carries a message that will be important. Courage is not a virtue of those that don't know fear. On the contrary, the more fearful you are, the more courage it requires to take action. Courageous people don't fear failure or pain. They are wise enough to know you will never learn to walk without falling first. When we are courageous, we treasure our dreams more than our doubts. It's the dreamer within you, right? We follow frequency of love instead of submitting into fear or doubt. It's an empowering quality that enables us to master any life situation. When wounded, we might confuse courage with recklessness or bravado behavior. There is no courage without maturity. There is no courage without maturity. True courage is one of the greatest virtues. Make sure you are not acting in search for validation or applause. This is going to be very important for this collective. I feel that they wanting to make sure that you understand that the previous cycle was not supposed to kill off your courage, to completely shut down your fire, right? Maturity teaches us courage as well. It's just that an important lesson of courage does not mean recklessness. Courage does not mean fireworks. Courage does not mean craziness. Courage does not mean complete lack of just right reason. It's something that people, that's toxicity, that's toxic courage, that's bravado behavior, that's recklessness, right? And people misunderstand that. Courage has nothing to do with your internal passion. Courage has nothing to do with your being an extrovert, right? There are many people who seem like that they very calm, they very grounded, they rule, be it by earth, right, or by water, but they very courageous, because courage is not just about jumping with a parachute. Oftentimes there are many people, and my candle went crazy again, they wanted you to really learn courage. There are many people in this life, and sometimes it especially happens to men, right? It's like you feel they're courageous because they're gonna ride on a bike and they're gonna jump off with the parachute, right? Recklessness and bravado. True courage is to show the world the real you, to be authentic, not caring about outcome, not fearing what future will bring, not fearing to live your dream, not fearing to take decisions, not fearing to follow what you really love, that is true courage. Not fearing, that's why I always give this, sort of a man, sorry if gents are watching, but it's a very common thing for a wounded masculine, right? You ride your bikes and you jump off the parachutes, and then you see a woman that you feel it's a woman of your dreams, and you're that scared little mouse to like be vulnerable and to open your heart and to commit to this person, right? It terrifies you. So courage is courageous heart. They wanted to teach you that. Maybe there's a reason it's coming to my mind, but maybe you're gonna have that purpose, that your purpose in life will link to that, to teaching people what true courage really is. Courage towards life, towards life's decision, towards following your northern node, your destiny. Rest, I feel it goes together. Maybe there is something within this collective. It's a common wounding, you guys, that we are, we as humans on this earth, in this distorted matrix, we have a complete misunderstanding of laziness, right? We're being told that we have to be productive and do something like machines. We're not machines. We're not machines in the matrix. This is how they harvest our energy. I'm telling you, we as humans, we should honor our body. We're allowed to rest. We are worthy no matter what we do. You don't have to be crazy active all the time. Maybe you still have that wounding, that hyperachiever, that hyperactivity, the if you feel that if you're gonna stay home on a weekend, and just rest and sleep more and take naps and just take care of your body, that it's something that is like wasted, or it's not productive because you have to go out there and be out there and do things. There's a reason it's coming to my mind. I want to read through that rest too. Resting puts us in a state of receiving and recalibrating. Our bodies are designed to connect our spirit to both external and internal world. It is through our body that we connect to the voice of soul within. It's true. You're never going to be able to fully contemplate, meditate if you don't know how to rest. If your body is constantly in this fight or flight mode, it can never relax. It can never fully sleep. You won't ever be able to become the channel for yourself. Our bodies are designed to be channels for ourselves. I always teach you guys this. Connect internal, external world. Become channels for you. Few people are like myself, spiritual teacher, Kundalini awakened spiritualist, are channels for everyone, the oracles. But every person has the capacity through the physical body to be the channel. But if the body is exhausted, if the body is not fed well, is being given substances, is not being given proper sleep, proper rest, proper movement, proper stretch, it's constantly, right? it's not able to operate as that channel, right? It's a tool. Our body is our body is our sacred vessel and the greatest possession we have in this physical world. Through rest is how we cherish, nourish, and take care of this sacred temple. When we are wounded, we confuse resting with being lazy. Here it is. We are so attached to the physical world and its distorted programming that we associate lack of physical movement with laziness. Remember, without rest, we are not able to connect deeply to our body. Didn't I say that? Surprise, surprise, I wrote these cards. Pushing and disrespecting our body is disrespecting our divinity and life itself. Everything I said. So it's going to be important for this collective. You have to understand that when you're resting, you're not being lazy. You're not being non-productive. You are actually being extremely productive. You are resting your channel. You're resting your vessel. You're resting your sacred temple. The tool, the only tool that you have in this world to connect to the divine, to connect, to call home. E.T. Maybe you like that movie. It came to my mind. E.T. call home. This is how humans call home. You rest. You rest. If your body is, and you know, people say to themselves, oh, if you rest because you go to sleep and you sleep well, that is nonsense. If your body is constantly faced with fear, with stress, with confusion of emotion because you don't know how to regulate them and you don't know how to rest, how to just relax, how to just do nothing without feeling shame and guilt, you're not going to be that channel for yourself. Problem of so many people. Fear of commitment. You guys, there's a reason I've mentioned this to you. Remember when we were talking about men and courage? I am sensing in this collective, to be honest, a strong masculine energy, right? Again, remember, we all have masculine and feminine energy within, all right? You may as well be a feminine, and you may even be, you know, learning to be a divine feminine and dropping into a feminine, but your masculine would be very strong, right? Your masculine energy would be very strong. But there's a reason I was talking about, again, my candle went crazy for confirmation. I was talking about distorted men, how they, you know, don't understand courage. Maybe your life and your life's mission, it's just coming to my mind, is linked to teaching people true courage and helping people to remove the fear of commitment. It's a plague, you guys, these days in this distorted matrix. Not only they're trying to feed the separation within us when we talk about spirituality, one consciousness, connection to God, but they literally wanting us to separate from each other. They feeding us with this fear of commitment, with shallow relationships, never going deeper with someone, being so afraid. It's the distortion of the matrix. It's horrible. If we cannot truly commit to ourselves, to another human being that is part of our soul family, again, we're never gonna truly thrive in life, reach depths in life, connect to our spirit truly. I do want to read through this card and then we move on. Fear of commitment comes from relationships that brought us pain, betrayal, control, a lack of emotional safety, and heartbreak. Our ego creates defense mechanism to avoid situations that could potentially cause us the same pain again. Not understanding what did bring us pain in the past wasn't commitment itself, but people we chose to attach ourselves to. If we fear commitment, we fear being rejected or losing our freedom. This fear can only be removed by committing to ourselves fully and developing trust in our own choices. And I always say this, when you fear commitment, you fear yourself. You fear that you're not going to be able to make the right choice for yourself, to choose the wrong person to commit to. When we heal, we understand that rejection is only redirection and that no one can really take away our freedom. Once we fully accept ourselves, we open our hearts and start craving true soul connections. I've done a whole episode. It's part of my masterclass for Divine Masculine, I think. You can find it on YouTube, about fear of commitment. This is number 97, so maybe that's relevant for you. All right. All right, let's do you some tarot for guidance. The final spread for guidance for closing this cycle. So for the next couple of months.